Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. We have more, I gotta say, more than I actually thought we would get. It's an absolute ridiculous statement, but it's something we all knew was the truth. It's been, what, 10 days now since the lie of Indiana Fever fans were yelling slurs at any of the players or anyone in the arena at Gamebridge. Of course, we had an accusation from someone not at the game who, when they got called out, protected their post. But the WNBA, because it was the kind of ism they like, it was in the right direction, they fully embraced it and went on a smear campaign with their friends in the media, which we're going to touch on, because if I were some of these people, I would be a little worried right now about a lawsuit. Here is the statement from the WNBA. The WNBA today issued the following statement regarding Chicago Sky at Indiana Fever game on May 17, 2025. We have investigated the report of IST fan behavior in the vicinity of the court during the May 17, 2025 Chicago Sky at Indiana Fever game. Based on information gathered to date, 10 days, including from relevant fans, team, and arena staff, as well as audio and video review of the game, we have not substantiated it. The WNBA is committed to fostering a safe and inclusive environment for everyone and will continue to be vigilant in enforcing our fan code of conduct. They will continue to smear Fever fans. There is no apology in that. They spent 10 days in silence after starting an investigation that I promise you, this is my opinion, but I believe they knew it was nonsense, but it was an opportunity for them to put this out there. It was an opportunity for them and their friends in the media to constantly smear the Indiana Fever fans, because let us not forget, by the way, and I did this not that long ago, I just put, yeah, that's not going to be good enough, which is already at 140 likes on only 4,200 views. So we'll see if that keeps climbing. But we have this, right? And Christine Brennan, shout out to her, by the way. She's the reporter that got, smeared by the players union when she asked DeJournette about trying to put Caitlin Clark's eyes out. And as she says here, every journalist, every reporter, and every broadcaster covering this Fever Sky story, non-story, or even just talking about it, has to use the words alleged or allegations. That is one of the most basic tenets of journalism. And that is my point. It is a smear campaign, it is a defamation campaign, and there are consequences for that. Here is little Shanae right here. Let's listen to what she had to say just the other day.
Now, players and coaches of the Chicago Sky have said that they heard things that were out of bounds coming from the fans in Indiana during the game. And that caused the WNBA to launch an investigation into the matter. Now, there is a backstory.
None of what she says is true. And when she said it, she knows. I promise you, again, my opinion, she knows it's not true. This was after the interview with Angel Reese, I believe. At least it came out after. It was after the coach said, that's not why they investigated. The WNBA didn't launch an investigation because of what Chicago coaches or players said. That is simply not true. They did it because of a troll on Twitter who wanted to smear the Fever fans, who was not at the game, lied about being at the game. Obviously, they couldn't hear it at the game if they weren't there, and then protected their posts. And the WNBA went ahead with it anyway. This is disgusting. Let's be clear. Good people don't do this. They don't like you. They hate you. The WNBA hates you. The media covering the WNBA hates you if you are a Caitlin Clark fan. Should we go back to this? Do we remember this?
The statesman of the crew here compared to this crew, because I'm older than all of y'all, all right?
Combined.
And obviously, obviously, as a black man, I've had certain experiences. As black people, we've had certain experiences, but black men, we speak to it on a more intimate level in certain respects. I applaud the WNBA for their statement. Got no issues with it. I get where both of y'all are coming from. Y'all 1,000% correct. I don't disagree with a syllable that y'all have uttered. But I'm not as bothered by this as most people. Let me tell you why. I'm not bothered by this because I love when folks are stupid enough to show themselves.
Like yourself, you are stupid enough Let's be clear, Stephen A. Smith, you are stupid enough to show yourself. What do you have to say now? I'm sure you will be issuing a public apology for your smear of the Indiana Fever fans, for your tirade against the Indiana Fever fans when none of it was true. There was no proof whatsoever, but you decided you were going to run with it because you are a good little soldier doing the bidding of those in charge of you. That is what this is. You're out there to smear the fans. You want to push the narrative, my friend. Do I sound a little annoyed on this one? Yeah, I am, because this is gross behavior. This isn't normal fans. Oh, your player sucks. No, your player sucks. This is gross. They're trying to smear an entire group of people for no other reason than that they like a basketball player. Let that sink in.
You see, what we need to worry about. Remember, as they say, you could have cats in sheets. We see them coming. And they said, no, just take off the sheets. Some folks said, just take off the sheets. We just going to put on a suit and infiltrate and look like everybody else. So ultimately, a wider
Hey,
scope
buddy.
of people can be contaminated because you don't know who is who. See, that's what's been happening in a lot of situations. And a lot of times when we see stuff politically, sports-wise, corporate-wise, etc., what we've missed along the way is fall back and let people show you who they are.
Which you are doing a great job of in this segment. By the way, did you catch the part where he just called the Fever fans members of a certain clan, not a good clan? That is what he just called you.
Sometimes we're lamenting, and one of the things that concerns me at times is sometimes we don't need to lament it. We need to pause, stand still, chill, and let them come. Because the more you show who you are, the more you're going to find out who really, really stands with us and who really doesn't. The WNBA stands with us because they put out that statement immediately. The NBA would stand with us because they put out that statement easily. You'd have players, male and female, coaches, assistants, executives, team owners, etc. Who's going to speak up? Who's going to be quiet? What you going to say? And why don't you say more? Or why are you saying less? These kind of things edify us and positions us to fight the real fights, as opposed to being distracted by fighting little menial things that happen.
Understand what he's saying there? Sounds a lot like Renee Montgomery. They're not like us, right? He is applauding the WNBA for lying. He is applauding anyone else. He is saying if you don't stand up and agree with this lie, you are the problem. I know who you are if you don't agree with this smear. I agree with this smear, is what Stephen A is saying. He agrees that it's okay to smear an entire fan base because they like a certain basketball player. That is it. No other reason. ESPN gave this guy $100 million over 5 years. Gross. What a gross organization. This is ESPN needs to go away. Cable is dying. It's going to take a while, but it is going away. They won't be able to live off that money from cable fees, and they sure as hell ain't going to make enough with ratings. Bye-bye, ESPN. We got one more for you because this I just saw today. I was actually going to do something on this, and then the statement came out, which makes this even worse. We got a whole story here. This is local in Chicago. Again, media is not your friend. Grandmother recalls racially derogatory remarks toward Angel Reese during Sky versus Fever game. Yep, you heard that correctly. So we go through this whole thing, and they don't tell you what it is. It keeps putting in parentheses, derogatory remark based on your TAM. But she goes through this whole victimhood sob story as she's bringing her grandkids and they were so excited to go to the game and on and on. And then I'm listening and I'm hearing, again, parentheses is always racially derogatory remark. This, and again, my granddaughter with me, so I'm trying my hardest not to react, making sure that I'm listening to what I heard. Then when Angel came up to take the shots, they really start making those comments, noises, and calling her this and that. Again, the noise, we remember what that was? No, that was a lie. None of this happened. They booed the heck out of Angel Reese and cheered when she missed, as normal fans do. My granddaughter's looking around. I touch her, say, "Hey, pay attention to the game to see if she makes this. I absolutely heard it. I did not try to react to it. She absolutely heard it. They played a few more minutes. I heard a couple of more comments about. So again, this was not like one person yelling a word. This was over an extended period of time. This is what she is saying. And then she goes on to say, I knew that what I heard, they heard it as well because they wouldn't have been looking like they were. She said Sky and Fever fans turned around in their section to see where the comments were coming from. Do you understand how insane this is? This is a story. You cannot say that this is the story and then not find any evidence. She's implicated a whole bunch of people saying they all heard this, and it went on for an extended period of time. And the media reports this story, even though we know there's no evidence. Again, an arena 17,000 people on TV, cameras everywhere, all the fans recording stuff, all the mics and the cameras from the TV crew. And we have nothing, not even an instance of a Chicago fan pretending to be an Indiana Fever fan and yelling something. We've got nothing, but they ran with it. And I'm going to leave you with one more thing to see how ingrained this is. Maybe it didn't happen at the scale the internet said it did, but to act as if an arena of people didn't have a few derogatory and ist comments is absurd. So according to this, Xavier Sanchez, who I'd never heard of until someone commented and it came up on my timeline, and yet he has me blocked. Every single time enough people get together in an arena that's just it's a given slurs are yelled. How insane is that? How hateful and engrossed in victimhood do you have to be to make a statement like that? So, look, I just wanted to put this out there as quickly as possible because I think it's important for you all to get this and important for everyone to understand. And this, by the way, for those who always say, this is why we push back on stuff, right? Because it gets to this size. It's not just trolls on the internet saying nasty things. This was a campaign by the WNBA itself, by huge sports media, including many, many at ESPN. You remember my previous video when Andrea reported the stuff of the investigation as true. These were true things. She said these things were said. Hey man, if that Covington kid could get money from CNN, the Washington Post, and NBC, if I if I if I'm Andrea and Shanae and Stephen A and all these other people, I'm worried. You should not, right? You should not, and you cannot. It's defamation. Be allowed to do these things without consequence. Making up fake allegations is a bad, bad thing. And that lady, I'm sorry, I don't know her at all. I don't care to. That's just disgusting to do that. Because you can tell me it went on that long and you had a bunch of people in your section looking for where it was said and no one came forward with anything. No one was filming it. I mean, no one put on their film just to at least catch the audio. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Truly disgusting. But this is what we're dealing with, folks. This is what's going to continue. And this is why I know some people are getting upset that some Caitlin Clark fans are like, I'm not watching. This is why they're not watching. Why would you support a league of people that hate you? I get supporting Caitlin Clark and by extension, the Fever. But why would you support the league? Like, right, if you're a Fever fan, okay, you know what? Go to a game at Gamebridge while Caitlin Clark's hurt. No problem. I get it. But why would you go to an away game? Why would you go to an away game and support that league and support another team? Absolutely insane. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, appreciate you checking out the video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go have the day you deserve, and I will talk to you later.